Hello and welcome to the look ahead. Obviously, you've got the familiar faces in myself and Michael, and a new face. He's decided to join us just to see what we're all about. So, gents, how are you?
Very well, thank you, Mark.
I'm doing good, mate. How are you?
Well, I'll answer that after probably 10 o'clock tomorrow night.
Aye.
Yeah.
Luckily, at least we've got a breather after that game. Yeah, we don't need to stress ourselves about Newcastle results until next month after that one. So we can have we can breathe
Nice little
easy.
break.
Yeah, the dull bit in the season.
Exactly. Well, the first, I'll tell you what, before we get to the three topics, because we weren't able to do the podcast, purely just out of times and obviously when this was going to be able to be done. So let's have a look back at Sunday and just a quick look on that. Obviously, I know myself. Yeah, I was there. I know you were there, Michael. Were you there, Mike?
I wasn't, no. Had a bit of graft to do, music graft, so couldn't be there, unfortunately.
Right, so you had to stick with the 2-minute Premiership highlights on BBC One.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I kept an eye on the game, had the notifications on, but when music calls, you got to do it, Mark. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's for football calls is football calls.
No, exactly.
And that's it. Yeah, music can go out the window for me. It's football calls. I'm there. Were you surprised with the lineup?
Do you want to go, Michael?
No, go on, you go, Matty.
I mean, personally, it was a surprise seeing that Murphy was going to come in instead of Almiron, to be honest with you, because I feel like with Eddie Howe, and I know people don't like saying this, but I feel like he does have his favourites, which we will delve on to when I mention that Miggy, in my opinion, is going to start on Friday, tomorrow. But it wasn't so much of a massive shock because we know what Jacob Murphy can do and we know what he can produce. I think he's a great grafter. Honestly, lives and breathes the club. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What about you, Michael?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I knew there was going to be changes because obviously Big Joe missing out. But yeah, I was surprised when he was there. I thought, that's an interesting thing to go with. I think when a team came out in the Strawberry, there was like a moment of like, and then it carried on again, So, but yeah, like Matty said, he's a grafter. You can rely on him. He's not the most skillful in the world, is he? But he's always going to put a shift in.
Absolutely.
Do you think Anthony Gordon was going to start there before he picked up the injury?
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that was the most shocking thing, that Gordon wasn't anywhere to be seen, rather than Murphy starting above Almiron. I think he knows his third choice, doesn't he? So, and Eddie had been playing him up in the week as well, going on about how great he was about Murphy this season, what a consummate professional he is. So maybe that was a little Eddie hint early on. So, but yeah, that was I want to see Gordon. I was looking forward to seeing him because he's been lively when he's come on. So
I was the exact same, Michael. I mean, I was watching his interview on Sky as well, Gordon's. He did look a little bit peaky as well. So I just thought, you know what, if he doesn't start, then yeah, we're gonna have to look at other options. But me personally, if I was gonna go into it, and if I was gonna go into Eddie Howe's mind, let's say, I would whack Maxi on the right wing and I would put Gordon on the left wing. Let's say if we had a full fit squad. And even with, I'm going to touch on this a little bit, even with Dan Burn, I absolutely love him, like local lad from Blythe, but I just don't feel like he's cut out to be a solid left back throughout the whole duration of the season. He is a left-sided centre back after all, but personally, if I was going to change things up a bit of a wild card, whack Matty Target back in there on the left back position, because he was great for us when he was playing, and he adds that depth. If you're going to change Trippier for set pieces, Matty Target's your man. That's all I'm going to say on the matter.
See, this is the thing. Dan Byrne's a good left back, but he's not cut out to be a left wing back. And
yeah,
see, that's what they are now. They're wing backs because they do everything. I will say he was getting forward a lot more on Sunday. Yeah. I think it's because I'm wishing that we have a Saturday game. But no, I just think he did do what he needed to do. He was getting forward a little bit more, especially that, and the fact is you're not going to change it. You need Maxi coming, doing his running in, but you can also get down the wing because Maxi was doing that as well.
Yeah.
I have to say, I thought Maxi in the first half was close to what you like to see with Maxi.
Yeah.
And he was passing a lot more. I thought him and Isak had a great partnership, working together. You'd think they've been playing together for ages.
Yeah.
Isak, whilst it may have been a surprise that he started, I'm buzzing that he did because I think it was about time that he did.
I agree.
And my God, what a first half he had.
Yeah.
And people go, no, why are you taking him off? He was knackered.
Yeah.
When he came off, but it was like, you look at that and you're going, this is why we paid 60+ million for him.
Yeah.
And what a header to get the header from where he was in the positioning. Yeah, and a great ball from Trips as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something which I've probably been a little bit critical with them on, is the set piece aspect of it. But I actually thought, we were doing really well. And I'm going to stick up for Jacob Murphy because I actually think he had one hell of a game on Sunday. His first half, like his pressure, his running into space, and that it was phenomenal. Yeah, like I said, the only thing he probably didn't do was get a goal. But I was looking at that and going, do you know what? Yeah, from when you're looking at you go, okay, Murphy's starting. He probably put a lot of pressure on Miggy because Miggy's going, oh Christ, I'm gonna have to perform when I come on to get a start. And he did, thankfully.
Yeah.
And Joe Willock, for me, that's probably his best game I've seen him play for Newcastle United.
Yeah.
He was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Doing everything.
Yeah.
And I think someone even said is that performance was like Bellingham-esque in that sense. And you look at that and you're going, that's the player who we paid 25 million for.
Yeah.
In that sense, yeah. The only thing the only negative I'm going to see on Sunday is I've got a feeling I think what happened against Liverpool is playing on Nick Pope's mind. No, I do, because
I didn't. I mean, that was down the other end, so I had no idea that had happened until half time. I was looking at the TV in the concourse.
But you look at that.
Like,
you look at that, but then you also look at the goal that Wolves conceded. That looks as if one, it was a slip by Trippier, but two, I just think it was miscommunication as well.
Yeah,
because all Pope had to do was just shout keepers and get the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
So
if he stayed on his feet, it would have
exactly.
Absolutely.
I'm going to say I'm in the bracket of even looking at the replays and going, I can understand why VAR didn't overturn and give a penalty for that, because there is an element where it looks like Jimenez is leading into him.
Yeah.
And if that's what Andy Madley has seen and relayed that to the VAR, then VAR would look at that and look at the shot there and go, well, I can see that. So therefore, it's then not clear and obvious. Yeah. And that's why it hasn't been overturned. Yeah. But it's one of those ones. First off, I thought we were phenomenal. We should have been 3 or 4 nil up, and that would have flattered us. Wolves unfortunately came out in the second half and pressed us a little bit more. But that was the old-fashioned defence, I'm going to say. Par in the slip by Trippier, that was like our old-fashioned defence and what we did in keeping it tight and doing what we needed to do to see out a game. Because despite where they are in the league, Wolves have got some decent players.
Yeah.
In the squad in that sense. So I think it was just a relief for everyone, and I think you're seeing it because Bruno just dropped to the ground on his knees at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And I think
quite a lot of all the energy was sapped.
Yeah.
And you just saw that. To be honest, I think the fans were as well.
Yeah. What I take from it is I must assume that Matty Target is just not fit enough to start because, you know, like, you know, what you're saying there about Bruno, I kind of think like Dan. I mean, I think once Matty Target's fit, then Dan Burn doesn't play because I think he needs a rest. I really do. You know, I think he's been coming for a month, and I don't think there's anyone else to do that. Because I don't think he's keeping Matty out because, you know, oh, well, I like Dan playing there. I think it's just because he knows the game he wants to play, which is high intensity, that he's just not near it, which is why Isak did start, because he's obviously more near to starting that sort of game than Wilson at the moment. So, you know, but
absolutely. I mean, pointing on to the fact with Matty targeting, I agree he should be in instead of Burn, and you are right in thinking that he probably isn't 100% fit, and Eddie Howe's probably not wanting to risk it or shake things up this business end of the season. But if we're going to look for summer, and if we are going to look to make some investments, I think that we get a solid left back, left wing back, whatever, because I don't think Dan Burn is really cut out to do that for another calendar year, to be truthfully honest with you.
yeah,
I think good backup, good left-sided centre back backup, but I don't know. I would rather Matty Target if he was 100% fit, because what he did for us when we signed him, he was absolutely amazing. I was thinking every game he was an 8, 9 out of 10. Yeah, and that's not even me blowing his own trumpet, but he was absolutely electric when he was playing for.
Yeah, yeah. And as for Isak, I mean, Mark R, our colleague on here, you know, he was saying all after the game, and he's been saying it for weeks. You know, Isak could easily be a 10. I can easily now see Isak and Maxi and Wilson, because every time Isak got the ball and he just making all those runs, he gets somewhere, but there was no one in the box to pass to. There was no one. I was just thinking, God, can you imagine if Wilson had been fit today? And like Mark said, we could have easily been 4 up by half time, easily, because he just like everything he did just came off on that game. He was sensational, and he can definitely play.
But what you needed
out wide like that, it was really great.
Yeah, but what you needed was your Willocks and your Bruno getting into the box to cover that.
Yeah.
Even Maxi. So like if Isak's had to go out wide, Maxi comes more into the centre. So it's just a working out aspect of it. But like I said, I just think Isak, and this is why we'll get on to him now in terms of the first topic. Yeah, the Swedish man. Let's just hope he doesn't play or get injured in training like he did the last time.
Well, if IKEA.
But no, it is that when you look at that, and you it was a point that I think was made by Eddie Howe in the press conference when he's like, I'm not saying he's not fit, but he's not fit enough to play full games at the high intensity that we do play at, which, it's fine. You can get back to match fitness, but then you need to get up to the level of intensity that we play with. And it's like from minute 0 to minute 90, whatever, because added on time, that you've got to do it. And the fact that he started and probably played around 60 to 65 minutes in that. Well done, because it just means the next game he can maybe do 70 odd, and he's going to build that up. But it is that I also think there was a little bit about, from my understanding, I think Wilson either hadn't been feeling too well before that game, which is why he was on the bench. But he's not a bad player to bring off the bench. But you look at it and you're thinking subs wise, we're bringing on Miggy Almiron and Callum Wilson. So and there's someone, an argument which was made was, is it maybe sometimes where you don't always start with all your best players? Do you mean to start with a Jacob Murphy? But
I think if you haven't got a squad, you have to, don't you? I mean, that's what we're saying about Matty Target. I mean, and putting Dan there, and Dan's done a fantastic job there. But if he's not up to it, and we've been so threadbare because of like 14 years of someone not giving a shit, then you just go out. I mean, all this thing about starting to wear a bit thin for me about he's very loyal, Eddie. No, are you trying to tell me at this point of the season he doesn't put his best team out? Do you think he wouldn't trample all over Dan Burn and put Matty Target in if he thought he could get 4th place? Of course he's going to. He's
Well,
not
he
going
made
to just
5
think, well,
changes from the side that started against Man City.
yeah,
So yeah, when you're talking about loyalty, Wilson went out, Gordon
Yeah.
went out, but obviously that was down to injury.
Yeah.
Obviously Miggy was out.
yeah,
Obviously Shaw came back in for
Lascelles.
Lascelles.
yeah.
So you're looking at that and you're going, yeah.
And they're not being dropped; they're being rested. That's
And
the
obviously-
difference.
Exactly.
You know that
Yeah.
they've had to. I mean, Dan Burn has played pretty much nearly this whole season, all of it. Same as Trippier. Same as
Yeah. I
Tottenham
said
and all the
Wilson
back
needed.
five have.
Yeah. No, I said Wilson needed a rest. I also said I think Miggy needed a rest because those two
Miggy,
have been like
I
prominent.
think it did
in
him
the
a
side.
world of good coming off the bench, to be truthfully honest with you. And that's what I feel he needed. Although I would like to start as many games as possible, I really do think that it was a good idea to start Jacob Murphy instead of Almiron, because if Almiron comes on, he's going to have a lot more energy than he would if he's just starting the game. That's,
Absolutely.
like I say, it's good to have a squad that you can rotate in and out, and this is why you do have a full 25-man squad, because you can't just stick with the same 11 week in, week out. Fair enough, if I saw Jacob Murphy's name on a Steve Bruce team sheet, I would be slightly concerned.
Well, we
Because, like I
have.
say, we'll have
If
many,
I saw
many,
Lionel
many
Messi's
times.
name on a Steve Bruce team sheet, I would be concerned. Poor
Yeah,
bastard.
exactly. I just think intensity and the fitness of the players now, I can look at a team sheet and I won't be scared who's playing. And I'm just going to put this out there. I've said some awful things about him, but even if he just went, right, okay, I'm going to start Matt Ritchie, right? I would still believe in what Eddie Howe is coaching, what he's doing, because there's always a plan behind the madness, and you could always bring him off and then put someone else on, and then look, the intensity of the game changes and the other team doesn't know what to do with it. So personally, I'm all for change, but just my opinion.
Yeah, no,
but Matt Ritchie's
I mean, you've got to put on what you've got. Simple as that. Yeah, you've got to deal with what you've got. I mean, that's what we have. We have Matt Ritchie in our 20. I mean,
Eddie Howe's bulldog.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, again, as long as it's not Ryan Fraser, I don't think he'd be Eddie's bulldog, would he?
No.
Well, I was going to say something derogatory there, but I won't. So he's Eddie something, but he ain't Eddie's bulldog.
Well, no. Well, he's in the reserves now, and he's probably going to be staying there for a long, long time.
Yeah.
But no, like I said, Matt Ritchie, yeah, he's probably someone that will be leaving in the summer. But
I agree. Yeah.
He's not. Yeah, if you're needing someone to just go in there, work hard, battle to try and keep win the game, he's not a bad player to shove on and do that. I think that's why he came on Sunday, because he's more defensively minded.
Yeah.
And I think the decision was made, right, let's just bring him on. Yeah, try and...
And there was no one else, was there? That's the thing.
Exactly.
Well, Elliot,
who else would you have brought in?
But I think Elliot Anderson was on the bench. So,
but he's not defensively minded, though, is he?
No, he's not. But
that's why Ritchie came on, bless him.
Yeah, and to be fair, I haven't been... I still look back at when he came on in the cup final, and I'm like, that's just a pity. Yeah, so you're like, go on, I'll put you on it. I'll put you on it where you can say that you played at Wembley.
Yeah.
But no, it is that. But I'm going to say, I think Isak will be our starting forward.
He has to be. We can't keep wrapping him up in cotton wool. We kind of.
And I just don't. I don't think Callum Wilson's up to it anymore.
No.
Yeah, he's not.
Not an entire season.
No, he's not the. He's a great second or third choice. Yeah, it's great to have, but I just think you're going to have Isak up there. We're probably also going to have to bring someone else in that aspect of it. You're probably looking at we need to bring a defensive midfielder in, plus a James Maddison type. And I know we keep on saying that, but I would absolutely love it if we got him, because I just think he would work so well. He can play in that where Jacob Murphy played, he can play.
Yeah.
Where Joe Willock played, he's quite versatile in that aspect of it. And it's
through the entire budget at him. That's what I say. But it's I can't
maybe
see it
not.
happening.
I think I can, because Leicester have just released their finances and they're very, very close to breaching FFP.
Yeah.
So I think they'll probably. I think they were like, look. I think they probably knew they had to keep them this season because they couldn't sell two big players. Obviously, they sold for Fafana, and I just don't think they could do it with another one. So I think you probably
it's all
will see
down
him
to
go.
if we get top 4. I really do think we've got a good chance of getting them. But if we miss out and get one of the European, Europa League or Conference League places, I can't see it happening because I think there will be more teams in for him. He's a solid player. Like I'd absolutely throw everything at him.
But you then but then you need to look at and go right. Calvin Phillips moved to Man City.
See, we missed a trick there with that one.
And how many games has he played? Not many.
Yeah.
So you need to look at that. You're going, and you say, well, would you go to Spurs? Well, not really, because they always seem to have upheaval and issues. Man U, I don't really think it's a player. I don't really think Man U would be wanting that type of player. They might look at Tielemans, but I don't think they'd look at Maddison. I think if you were looking at this and looking at the fact of we've got to a cup final in the first full season with Eddie Howe. If we get into European football, we've done that, which Leicester weren't. He might look and go, well, yeah, okay, you know what?
Yeah, looks a better prospect.
It's a project that's been built. I'll do that. He's got Callum Wilson there. He's got Kieran Trippier. He's got Nick Pope. Yeah. So
the other thing was the problem is if you're reading Luke Edwards in the week, he was saying about we've still got Isak Hayden to come back, we've still got Jeff Hendricks to come back, and you're saying about Fraser will move on and Richie will move on. He's saying the trouble is nobody wants them.
I think
saying that's going to be our biggest drawback.
I think we may look at just buying out the contract.
I agree.
Well, it's possible, yeah. It's going to be the only way, according to Luke. So,
Luke's always the
prophet of doom.
And does buying out players' contracts impact FFP? Is that how it works, or does it not fall under that sort of bracket?
No, I don't know.
It may do, but it may be cheaper to buy out the contract, and because if you think you're just buying that out and then that's that finance done, you then have all that free wage expenditure.
Yeah, that's
to
the
bring
thing
in
about
those players. So it's one of those things that it'll counterbalance in that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll get a major sponsorship deal come the start of the new season, because that's going to bring in some cash flow.
Yeah, there we are.
There it is.
It's as if you knew what the next topic was.
Yes, almost like we've thought about it.
Had it in my head, you see.
Exactly. Now, obviously, there has been stories coming out that Noon are going to continue the partnership with us in the 23-24 season. Whether or not that's as the sleeve sponsor, we don't know. If it is, the understanding is it's going to be 8 million. They may just be a sponsor. They may be like our official Middle East delivery sponsor or something like that. Because obviously they're basically the Amazon of the Middle East.
And they are,
in that sense. You then look at the fact of Fun 88s. That's definitely going to be going at the end of the season. You look at the fact that, as we've just shown, you've got Saudi, who was basically our sponsor for the Riyadh trip that we had.
Yeah.
So we've already got like an existing partnership with them, and you do see their branding, on the electronic boards at the ground and that. And to be fair, as a logo, it looks quite tidy.
It does. It does.
And like I said, if we're looking at that, but then you also look at the new airline that's launched, which is Riyadh Air. That might be something that gets looked at. And the only reason why I would say that may be something that's looked at is it doesn't have the Saudi word in it.
Yeah.
And that may just be a way where we're still getting a sponsorship with a Saudi Arabian airline. But the name, the word Saudi isn't prominent because that could be just something on there. But you could always, but you can still have Saudi as Man U do. Saudi, our official airline.
Yeah.
Yeah, then
The-
you've
the
got
The one that gets used a lot on all the concept shirts that seem to pop up every now and then, most of which I wouldn't use as a tea towel, but that's not the point. It seems to be the Aramco, doesn't it? That they all seem to want to put
Aramco,
that on.
Aramco,
I'm not too sure about that.
No, I'm not neither.
I
I've
think-
never,
I think
apart
the
from those,
Riyadh-
I've never heard it being mentioned.
I
The
think
others,
the Riyadh Air
like,
one might
all
also
have.
be difficult because Yasser Al-Ramayan is on the board of Riyadh Air.
Yeah.
So that might be an option there. But it is, like I said, we've got so much, and that's why obviously you've got Peter Silverstone in. Obviously, we're going to have money from this Amazon video behind the scenes thing that's going to be happening. So that's going to be a money maker for us in that aspect of it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be great to see because I've always it's like I want to see what it's like behind the scenes at Newcastle. So it's going to be great to have that aspect of it. But that's why he's been brought in to get these sort of deals. Obviously, if you look at it, we've got Monster as our official energy drink sponsor.
Yeah.
Move over other drinks, like the energy drink that was sponsoring the cup that we got to the final of.
Yeah.
I prefer Monster anyways, much better than Carabao.
But to be honest, Monster does seem to be the drink of a lot of people at work.
It is everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, but you look at that and you just go, and there's so much. Yeah, in terms of that, like you could have Aston Martin as the official car.
We've even got ties
That'd
to
be nice.
the Saudi Golf, don't we?
The live thing.
No.
Is that not the case? 'Cause
No.
I thought that we did have ties to it in the sense of one of our board of directors or whoever we've got on board.
Personnel-wise, we do, but it's nothing to do with us.
Yasser Al-Ramayan, who's our chairman, does have a position with the
Live Golf.
Live Golf.
Yeah.
But it's not like a club link. I also know the other guy. His name completely slips my mind. But obviously he'd been involved in like the golf aspect of it. He was on the board. He'd been seen quite a few times. I think he was probably there on the first game of the season as well.
He was, yeah.
But he's now dropped out, and we've got two other people on the board as well. So we are making all the right appointments to increase the revenue stream aspect of it. I do also believe that they had looked at whether or not they could get rid of Castor, but I just don't think that's possible.
I think we're signed with them another year, I believe, because there's been rumours with the Adidas, but
do you know what? And I'm going to say this. I don't have a problem with Castor in terms of their designs, because I think the designs that they come out with for their stuff is really, really good. I've liked the away kit. I love the blue away kit. I love the home kit. I even liked the anniversary kit, the all black one. I just thought that one was done really well. And to be honest, some of the training kit stuff that they brought out, we're probably on our fifth or sixth training kit of the season.
Yeah, we could dress all the squad in at least a different shirt of some sort at this point.
Yeah, but
this year. I mean, it's been quite a lot. But
I know, but every single one that they've went out, we went, oh, that looks really nice. And then you go, oh, actually, that one looks really
that's
nice.
all a matter of taste, isn't it? I mean, I know what you mean. The away kits last year's the black and grey one. I got that. I love that one, and I love the blue and the gold one this year. They've been great. So, but I mean, all the thing about them dying down about the quality control. Yeah, I know people
you
have
get that,
problems
but
with it.
the fact is, you're always going to see on social media the bad. Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean,
you're not going to have
someone. You don't have everyone going on about how great it is. You get
exactly. Yeah,
10,000 people who think it's great. It's only going to be the 2 people who hate it that's going to put it online.
The only thing that I will see in that aspect of it is, did they maybe take on more than they could chew in?
Probably.
Yeah, they probably looked and thought, oh, hang on, it's Newcastle United. Look at what we can do here.
Yeah,
but had the logistics to do it. They may have had to go outside of the logistics to hire other companies to meet the demand. But then that sometimes knocks down on the quality aspect of it. Yeah, they're a young company. Yeah, yes, it can be frustrating if you're the one with the bad one. But come on, you're
right. I mean, Adidas, if we did end up miraculously getting a deal with them before the season starts, which personally I don't think is going to happen, but let's say if it did, their kits are going to be quality. The home kit's going to be absolutely stunning. You can just picture it now. You're not going to have a bad word to say about them because Adidas, we've had them in the past, and we know how good the shirts are. They're absolutely gorgeous, man. But like I said, if we do keep Castore on, I can possibly see Adidas the following season, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Like I said, we know Fun 88's gone, so any shirt next season is going to just look even better because it's not going to have a Fun 88 logo on it.
It is.
Yeah, come on, yeah. As long as we pick a good logo. The only thing is, I actually quite like the Castore logo. As logos go, yeah, and I actually quite like it.
It's a bit Fred Perry-esque.
It's better than Puma.
It is.
Yeah.
Which sort of annoyed us because it's like we're Sunderland's biggest rivals, but that we were made to wear a black cat on with kids.
Yeah, true. There was that, wasn't there?
Yeah,
so, but
doesn't make much sense, does it?
But no, like I said, I think it was something that was discussed, and I can't remember which paper it was. Might have even been a Luke Edwards article. But I think there's probably quite a lot of sponsorship deals that are going to be coming in close to the summer. And I think that's going to probably lead away to quite a bit of spending happening, because I do think it's probably something going to happen. I know there was even discussions of around 250 million, which if we get anywhere close to that, I'd be buzzing, because you'd look at that and go, right, okay, so Maddison, Diaby, I'm going to say TNE just for the sake, but like a TNE type signing straight off there. You're looking at that, and you're looking at, well, you're probably looking at the best part of 150 million just for those three. We're looking at another striker, I would say. In that sense, maybe a defensive midfielder. And maybe another defender.
But I mean, like the same with the team, isn't it? Our sponsorship deals done under the last regime, probably done on the back of a cigarette packet, weren't they? And signed in some casino. So we're so far behind. I always think most of the Premier League with our sponsor deals that they all need a complete revamp, and it's going to take years to get it anywhere near competitive to the rest of them. And by that point, that the FFP thing will come in 2025 or whenever it is, and ruin it all, and the rich will stay rich and the poor will stay poor, and that'll be the end of that. Yeah,
well, we'll just do what Chelsea did. We'll sign.
You could do it
on
like
10 years soon.
Exactly.
They've got increased for changes.
I can really see that we're going to splurge it though in summer. I feel like we had a poor January window, but it's just
I think that was on purpose, because we were looking at and I just don't think you'd get the players at the right price. Obviously, the January before that, we were desperate. We needed those players in.
Yeah,
I still actually think really, really good business. 12 million for Dan Burn, 12 million for Kieran Trippier, 25 for Chris Wood, but we've made 15 million off him. Well done, Dan Ashworth, for getting anywhere close to that amount of money for him. You're looking at that aspect. You then look at the 38 million that were paid for Bruno, and that is right now is looking like a steal. I think the 30 odd million that we paid for Botman is looking like a steal.
And we've got all the players that Ashworth knows about. I mean, look at Casado, look at Cucurella that he's brought in at, and all the others that they brought, Matoma that he's brought in at Brighton. There'll be a lot of players that we'll be familiar with, but
Lamptey,
I know. I mean,
there's so many players.
We've got all that as well on top of like being able to afford Maddison if he was available. As well as probably lots of players we don't really know, but will be absolutely.
Well, that's gems. The thing. I think we need to look at maybe 3 or 4 established players, but then the Dan Ashworth type signings where he goes and finds a player like he has with a lot of the Brighton scores. Like I said, you look at some of the Brighton and you just go, how on earth they've been able to find those and get those. And then I'm sure wasn't it Casido who was on before he's probably signed his new contract, but I'm sure before that he was on about £3,000
something ridiculous
a week. It would take a really low amount.
Like that. They bought him for something just ridiculous.
Crazy.
So my team of the season, apart from our own Brighton, what a fantastic club. If we were going to concede the Champions League to one team, that'd be the one I wouldn't. I would be still disappointed, but I'd be like, well, good on you, because Jesus, lost their head scout, lost their manager, lost some of their best players, and still going and still doing it. Fantastic! What a fantastic!
Because
Really
you
well,
look at
right?
that.
Yeah.
Well, that's
absolutely.
the fact. And that's what they've said though. As soon as they appointed Graham Potter, they were looking for the next manager.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they've got De Zerbi, and he's doing a phenomenal work.
Yeah.
They'll still be looking for the next manager, and that's where, I think Dan Ashworth probably is as well. Yeah. Not to say that Eddie Howe's at any risk, but they'll be planning, they'll be constantly looking and going, right, okay, this is the type of football that we want to play. These are the type of managers that can do that. Because that's the thing, you want to have a manager that matches the playing style that you want at the club, but also the players that you've got that are able to play in that style. Because otherwise it's pointless. And I think that's probably an issue with Graham Potter. I feel sorry for him because he's came in at Chelsea.
I don't.
And he's just, well, probably not with the contract that he's on, but in terms of like the reputation, he's
just because of where he went. So
yeah.
Or we could just do what Forest have done and just sign 25, an entire new squad. So
that's ridiculous, man.
Which brings us nicely onto our opponents, doesn't it?
You're doing all the things for me. I'm not having to do any of the work today. Which again takes us on to that. And obviously you've mentioned a lot of the players that Forest have got, but obviously Chris Wood is not able to play. Whether or not that's
Johnson, is he injured?
Apparently.
He's doubtful.
I don't know if it's true or not. So again,
he's a quality player.
Yeah,
he really is solid.
I wouldn't mind going for him in the summer. Like if we're looking at, let's say,
because you need someone who's going to be quite happy, maybe playing third or fourth fiddle.
Exactly.
I just think
21-year-old as well. He's class.
Yeah,
he looks quite level-headed. He looks like he's bright in that, but some of his play, and some of the goals that he scored for Forest, and you go, what? Yeah, what a player he is!
Real excellent player.
But no, he's supposedly a doubt. Obviously, Chris Wood can't play, and I'm sure they've got, I think, about another 9 or so players.
Apparently, yeah,
that are out injured. As someone, as you said, that's still not a problem because it's
they've still got 38 other players that can, I mean, they even bought a player that didn't even have a contract, just for shits and giggles. Let's buy Ayew. Yeah, go on then. He hasn't even got a club. Let's buy him. They've managed to even buy someone out of the window. It's been quite astonishing, hasn't it? But horses for courses. If that's how they're going to do it, and they stay up, they're not going to be.
It's just not sustainable, though, is it?
I guess not. But I mean, if the manager, if the chairman can afford it, then you would hope that they would. I would hate Forest to go straight back down again. I've got a soft spot for them being my age, But I mean, God knows who they're going to play. They've got so many players to pick from. I just hope they have, me and Mark were saying on Sunday about, can you imagine lining up against Shelby and Colback?
No.
Like playing FIFA 16, what the hell, I mean, I
don't understand how they signed that Renan Lodi. When that announcement came about, I was thinking, how on earth have they managed to win that signing? Because he is a quality player.
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, I haven't watched much of him for Forest, but he is absolutely class. He's probably, is he injured? Is he? Did he get injured?
I don't know if there was talk of it, but that's gone quiet this week. So I'm assuming maybe he's close. Because I thought I was, again, like yourself, I was really pleased. I hope he doesn't play. So
yeah.
So Willie Bolly, Scott McKenna, Taiwo Awoniyi, Dean Henderson, Gullion Biakone, and Omar Richard are all sidelines, whilst Czech Kyoto, Wayne Hennessy, and Brennan Johnson are all rated doubtful. Chris Wood isn't eligible to play as he remained on loan from Newcastle.
Yeah.
But the team that they put out against Spurs, who demolished them, I still think there probably should have been one more because I actually think Richarlison was onside. But yeah,
I agree.
We've had our fair share of those. So, Keelan Navas in net, which again I'm still shocked that they got him because he's a really decent keeper. Serge Aurier at right back. If he's playing on the form that he played under Spurs, then Maximin will have a field day.
Yeah.
Joe Worrell, Felipe, and Renan Lodi, which is a fairly decent back line.
Mm-hmm.
The midfield that he started with was Remo Friula, John Joe Shelby, and Orel Mangala. Whether or not that's going to be the same one, and then obviously a front line of Morgan Gibbs-White, Brennan Johnson, and Jesse Lingard.
The forgotten man, Lingard.
Yeah.
I mean,
on the bench they had Nico Williams, Musa Nikadi, Jack Colback,
the Ginger Perlo,
Danilo, Ryan Yates, Andre Ayew, Chris Wood, obviously who can't, and Emmanuel Dennis.
Yeah. I mean, out of all that, I mean, if Isak has a good game, they are going to be banging trouble. Because
I agree.
Matty was saying, they've got some really talented players going forward, but at the back, they're always going to give you a goal, a bit like Leeds. So it's a shame when we weren't on it when we played Leeds at St. James's, because they're always going to give you a goal. So if he plays anywhere like he did on Sunday, and Maxi does, they could be really in trouble. So.
And I think recently, before the Wolves game, sorry, Mark, with the lack of goals and the lack of really endeavour to get the ball in the back of the net, I really think the Wolves game will have changed that. I really do think we're going to win this game tomorrow. And I think it's going to be quite a convincing win, but I can only hope.
Yeah.
But I'm sure quite a few said that against Wolves, to be fair.
Yeah.
We got a bit tired of saying that, didn't we, over the last couple of months? Oh, we might do if we got to turn up. So I think hopefully we've turned a corner now, but one game doesn't suggest.
The question
anything,
is, do you think that Eddie Howe will stick with the 11 that started for the Wolves game?
Not if Matty Target is not. If Matty Target's close to being
injury.
Yeah, if Matty Target is close to starting, I think he will start. He will just appear one day. So, but yeah, it wouldn't surprise me because he likes keeping his.
The only thing is obviously a lot of people are saying that there's issues over an injury to Shaw because of what was on the Swiss website. But like I said, he has been seen in training pictures. So yeah, whether it might just be something that they want to manage at the club and not necessarily send him away. But if not, it's probably likely to be the sellers that'll come in.
Yeah. In the club.
Which that's a good a one thing. It'll be against his old club. The other thing is if he can handle Haaland like he did, then
you can handle anyone.
I've got that confidence because I was so impressed with him, and I think that's probably what you probably needed, even if it wasn't because Shaw had concussion. I just think tactically, the Sellers was better suited to that sort of game because he was able to man mark Erling Haaland and kept him quiet. And you look at what he's just done on Tuesday.
I know, frightening, isn't it? You forget how frightening he is sometimes. It's almost like he's had his little spell, and then all of a sudden he's like.
Well, if you think we played 2 games against him, and he's only scored one goal.
Yeah,
against us.
He scored more than 38 goals more than in all competitions, which is absolutely ridiculous. I think
only one against
28 in the Premier League, I believe.
Yeah,
and I think he's got 10 in the Champions League. Yeah, you're right, Mark. Only one against Newcastle, but
exactly. Yeah,
I think that's a credit to our defense more than anything, because if you think he's been absolutely destroying teams, but our back line, including Nick Pope, for the best part, has been keeping a lot of teams at bay, and I really think if it wasn't for the miscommunication against Wolves, with Trippier accidentally slipping, I really think we could have got a clean sheet, and really that first half the game should have been over. We should have been 3-0, 4-0 up.
Yeah. But I think we hit the post a couple of times.
We definitely hit the crossbar, didn't we? Bruno headed onto the crossbar, didn't he?
I did,
There was one moment where we were getting corner after corner after corner, and I'm just like, what's the corner count already?
Yeah.
like I said, that first half was probably one of the best first halves I've seen us play for a long, long time.
No,
I was
absolutely.
like, wow, yeah. I was just stunned with
We
how
blew
good.
them out of the water.
Yeah, I was just stunned at how good our front line was. Yeah, and I'm including Maxi, Isak, and Murphy in that. I thought they were unstoppable. And like you said, if you've got them going up against that Forest line,
Yeah.
and this is the thing though, but if we get the Forest side that we played at the beginning of the season, there's no question of it. But obviously, it's a Forest side at home, and I think at home they're a completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah, their
Yeah.
crowd.
Different animal.
Yeah, and the crowd's like us, you know, they're quite vocal and
Yeah.
sort of like tribal in that aspect of it. But you never know, that might be something that our players relish. Yeah, because they might sometimes think playing at St. James's Park, the pressure. And there is pressure of playing, with that sense. But yeah, it's just one of those ones of on Sky again.
Yeah. Box office draw that we are.
I know. I think there's only one game in April that we're not on. No, there might be two.
Yeah.
But I think it's Brentford and Southampton, but all the others, we just seem to be on TV.
Yeah.
We're the best to watch.
They know where it's at. They know where
They do.
They know what's coming. We are the
They
Disney of the Premier League.
Well, no, they know fine well that if they put Newcastle on, they will get the viewing figures.
Yeah.
And when they get the viewing figures, they can then get more money from the advertisers.
Absolutely.
It is that, you look at that and why wouldn't you? Yeah. Like I said, there was a question for me of why Newcastle Wolves was a 4:30 kickoff.
Yeah.
It's still that question on me. I'm going, why? You could have put Fulham Arsenal at 4:30, and that probably would have been a better sort of like game in that aspect. But yeah, what can you do? And we've stopped the rot. We've got our first win since Fulham. Let's go to the predictions, and we'll go to you, Michael. What's your prediction?
2-2. I'll go back to my superstition of 2-2. No, 3-1.
Can we just point out there you didn't do that for the?
I didn't do that last week, so I will stick to 2-2 then.
Right, but you didn't do 2-2 in the Wolves game, and we won the Wolves game.
That's true. So I was close to that as well. I'll say 3-1 then. I'll go for my new superstition will be 3-1, which is what I said for the Wolves game, and I was close.
Right. So we'll stick with that one. And Matty, what's your prediction?
I've been toggling between 2-1 and 3-1, but I am going to go 2-1. The reason I'm going to go for that one is we've got our shooting boots on just yet. But if Isak starts, possibly it could be a goal fest. But I'm going to stick with my 2-1 prediction.
And I will say, I'll say that now to thank you for Max, because he will be so happy that you've come on and been able to pronounce his name correctly.
Yes. Even True Faith don't manage that.
I'll just say it just to annoy him, Isak.
Isak. Isak. Someone next to me the other day was calling me Isak, which I thought that's sweet. It's totally wrong. But
well, what we'll do is we'll wrap it up here. We'll say goodbye from us. We'll fingers crossed that we're smiling at 10 o'clock on Friday afternoon, and we will be back at some point next week with the podcast. And the look ahead, may go ahead, and we may just not have a preview, because obviously we're not going to have any games, thankfully. We may preview the Saudi, the Dubai trip that they're going to have.
Yeah.
What they're going to pack in the suitcases. What are they?
Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure coming on, boys.
Exactly.
Oh,
which
well,
player's
you've been
going to have the
brilliant,
most smugglers? But thank you and good night.
Peace.